Tell me what I gotta do. Pull up in a bucket crew. One for me and one for you. Yeah, like with the roof. I'm off the chain, don't cut me loose. Yeah, I'm off the chain, I'm off the noose. Yeah, getting picked off Bentley, white like cotton. Residential so good, my doors don't gotta lock 'em. Watch the dirty money with Oxy. I miscount cause I'm off yeah, these bigger than a damn proxy. Call my he said copy. Get that plug like a boogie. I like riches, hit like nookies. You ain't scared of no, but you scared to put on your hoodie. Man, my like Woody.
I just scraped it off the top. Cut it off the road, off the curve, off the block. I was already sold out of work by 10 o'clock. Too deep in the streets, felt that baby, that meant a lot. When that hush comes, the what I gotta do, I'm moving with a two. I paid it out of full. Yeah.
New toys, convoys, 100 carats on my neck, my boy. That 100 bunny rabbits tryna get my boy. From the cabbage I collect, my boy. Heard you is gorillas, let me check, my boy. Say nothing silly, you regret, my boy. Cause we got banana on the my boy. And I can send it in a text, my boy. Thumbs up or the emoji with the flex, my boy. Personalize every threat, my boy. Toll free, that's direct, my boy. And if you need a couple, I'm the connect, my boy. Off the top,
I just scraped it off the top. Cut it off the road, off the curve, off the block. I was already sold out of work by 10 o'clock. Too deep in the streets, felt that baby, that meant a lot. When that hush comes, the what I gotta do, I'm moving with a two. I paid it out of full. Yeah.
I'm the best, I'm the best, as you know. And I got it, on my own. Keep my way up, you know, go. If I touch it, then it's cold. I'm the best, as you know. And I got it, on my own. Keep my way up, you know, go. If I touch it, then it's cold. For the blank and they know I'm impressive. He wanna talk, but he not on the schedule. I ain't taking nothing from my boy, ain't heavy. I'm the best, and you heard what I said. Spend all the money, I'm dripping, it's spouting. Got on it, then it's dripping like water. Teaching her, but I don't have a daughter. I know me, I pick up when I call her. Working big, and it don't hurt the break, cause I'ma always do it how I wanna do it. Every time he lead a know it, Mr. Know I got him running to it. I'ma need to pull the milk before we talk it that I'm waking up and something.
It's the National Football League, presented by EA Sports. Tonight, we finish off Week 6 with a good Monday nighter between the Washington Commanders and the Los Angeles Rams. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for. thrown out complete to Ross. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 25 yards there on the catch and run. And early on, they're picking up right where they left off last week.
And I know a lot of coaches say each game is its own. You don't really have carryover. This feels like carryover. So much confidence from the previous game that they're using to their advantage now.
And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. On first down, they'll stay with Akers on the ground. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And the Rams in a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's coming like clockwork right now for them.
Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll try the air now with Stafford. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
They'll run here with Akers. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
Second and goal from inside the 5. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
Normally when you see a short gain in the middle of a 3-4 defense, go ahead and pat the nose tackle on the back because he's holding things up and taking out extra blockers, which allows one of the inside linebackers to roam free and make the tackle.
Touchdown, Rams. John Ross, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Rams will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Extra point by Gain is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. First and 10 here for Howell and the Commanders at their own 25-yard line. Now a first carry here for Robinson. And he's not going anywhere to start the night. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Rams, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Faking the handoff, Howell. He rifles one that's intercepted. Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
They'll run here with Henderson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. To make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the 2nd quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays, because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
The run is turned away on 4th and goal from the 2. And Washington is able to come up with a goal line stand. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ballgame.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And the Rams are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Akers. is into the end zone. Touchdown, LA. He had the option to hand that football off. I think it's safe to say that he made the right decision. That was a heck of a run.
It certainly was, and when you mentioned the option, most people think the quarterback's not going to keep the ball. You know, in the NFL, that's usually not the recipe for being around too long. So when you do keep it, it often surprises the heck out of a defense.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit. Like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Second down and a run by Robinson. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. And Howe will throw it. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Rams are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. After the run, now Stafford going to throw. He finds the speedster Ross. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. Now they send a man in motion right. On the counter, this is Akers. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Cam Akers, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Rams are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. Room here to run. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 13 yards there and a Washington 1st.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Robinson with another carry. Down to about the 45. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. They swallowed him up. Now try to pick it up on third. Thomas has got it. Complete. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Now they go play action with Howell. He's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Throwing on second and long. Howell. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. Touchdown, Washington. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And with a 21-7 lead already in their hip pocket, probably not a time to get too creative or inventive here. We'll see. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Well, no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Call and a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a third and about 5.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give them a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw, Howell. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Kevin King with a pick. And the Rams are going to take possession of the football.
As they started that drive, I think they looked at the scoreboard and said, this is a manageable deficit, guys, but let's go ahead and start cutting it down right here. Instead, an interception happened, so a 2-possession game might become 3. So as we get going here in the second half, this could rapidly reach the point where there isn't enough time left for a comeback if their defense doesn't bail them out.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They started this drive backed up against the wall by the turnover, but I love their fight. Planted their feet and forced incompletion on first down.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And the Commanders are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Throwing here, Howell. Throw left side complete. That's Robinson. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Caught that look for me there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the gun on third down, Howell. He's got a man, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? This has been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
Well, the defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here. Leonard Floyd make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
The passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. 3rd and long, here's Howell. And now here's another interception. Kevin King with a pick. And the Rams are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. And you have to wonder, Charles, in a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
But based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
And he carries this one past the midfield stripe and into Commander territory. Jamin Davis there to bring him down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, You spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes us all the way down to the 37. 60 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Over the middle, complete. It's Ross. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. They'll run on first down with Akers. And able to work his way down to the 16. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Off of play action. Here's Stafford. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown. Robbie Anderson. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Rams will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to...
Oh, Howe loses it. And now the Rams have got it. Going the other way. And fantastic field position has them just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line of the red zone. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands.
Touchdown! 2-2 and 1. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Rams are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much... And now off to the races, down the right side. And he will finally be shoved out of bounds down at the 30-yard line. A huge play there for Washington. 45 yards on the ground. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Commanders in possession of the football, but they trail as we start this 4th quarter. Back to Robinson now on first down. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2. The play fake, and now here's Howell to throw it. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Howell throwing on third down here. And my goodness, another interception. Kevin King with a pick. And the Rams are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He starts with a give to Akers. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter. I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Stafford going to give this to Akers. Oh, he's got a little daylight. 87 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
A.J. Terrell coming up to make the play. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. Their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit.
And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Gay's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. There he goes, right side. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Washington. From end zone to end zone, it's a 106-yard return. And the Commanders get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
The kick is good.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead is down to 24. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today, try and get him over 100 yards.
First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. They'll go again here with Akers. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Now a play fake it at Stafford. Blitz coming and down he goes. That time multiple defenders getting pressure. And it's a loss of 6. So now Stafford and the Rams after the sack. Now they're staring up at a 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw. He still makes a catch, even though it was tapped by the linebacker. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And gets by him, and now a little daylight. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Off the option, here's Akers. 115 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. The Commanders going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They're in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
Not in any rush offensively. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Stafford going to throw it. Over the middle and complete to the tight end, Higbee. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Well, this one probably not the close game you would expect or hope to see in prime time, CD. But, of course, that wasn't their intent of preparing for this one. They said they felt like their offense was ready to put up some points. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And the Commanders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So a good drive with a bad ending, Charles. They move it down the field well. Cannot finish it off, though, as it's intercepted in the end zone.
Deflating, that has got to be the word here because they were sharp in moving it down the field. But sometimes you start thinking like a touchdown is a given. And it doesn't always work out that way as we saw there.
Escaping the pressure right. He's going to let it fly. And now here's another interception. Kevin King with a pick. And the Ramsons are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
Well, let's face it, Brandon. They're down here in the second half. Want to try and make something happen. And if you're the guy with the ball in your hands, you're going to try even harder. Because I think all he was trying to do was to get outside the pocket and see if he can find a big play downfield.
Stafford down to a knee, and with it, he's going to ensure his guys a victory. So the LA Rams with a victory here.